I have a ladybird deed. I'm in Michigan, did this 3 years ago. And my understanding is that you still have to do it 5 years before you receive Medicaid, just like a trust. Is that incorrect?
Welcome to Barry's Bites. Please join our host, attorney and financial advisor Chris Barry.
Here's my answer. Yes, incorrect. So what a ladybird deed is a type of deed that says it's in your name while you're alive and well, and then upon death, it avoids probate. And here's the big thing is it avoids estate recovery for Medicaid purposes. So the person's mentioning Medicaid, and understand that in Michigan, Medicaid's only going to cover nursing home costs. It's not going to cover assisted living. It's not going to cover home care. It's only going to cover nursing home costs. Average stay in a nursing home is about 2.5 years. 1 out of 2 individuals will need nursing home care. And the average cost of nursing home right now is about $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And Medicaid is a governmental program that will help pay for nursing home care. But to qualify for Medicaid, a single individual can only have $2,000 worth of countable assets. A married couple, they're going to make you cut your assets in half. At most, you can have $120,000. And then Medicaid looks back 5 years to see if you moved any money around. And if you have, they're going to penalize you. So one of the big things that we do a lot of times is an asset protection trust called a castle trust that starts the 5-year look back period. And so if we move assets into the castle trust, we make it 5 years before we need a nursing home, then everything inside of the trust is protected from that nursing home and Medicaid spend down, including real estate. And also you would be able to sell the real estate and the proceeds of the sale would remain in the trust. Now with real estate, there's 2 things we do. We either deed it to the castle trust, or if we're not doing a castle trust, then we do what's called a ladybird deed. And what a ladybird deed is a type of deed, again, it's in your name while you're alive and well. You can sell your house, you can refinance, you can do whatever you want. If you pass away, it avoids probate and also avoids estate recovery. And the other thing to keep in mind, and I'll talk more about estate recovery in a second, but the other thing to keep in mind is that your primary residence, as long as it's valued less than $500,000 adjusted for inflation, your primary residence is exempt for Medicaid purposes. Meaning you could have a $500,000 house, and as long as, say, you're a married couple with less than $120,000, one spouse would be able to qualify for Medicaid. So the home is exempt in Michigan. But here's the thing, and this change happened, I want to say about 2014. What they said is, okay, great, your home is exempt while you're alive, but upon death, if you were to pass away and the home goes into probate, then boom, now the state of Michigan can slap a lien on that. And that's what Medicaid estate recovery is they can recover from the estate, whatever ends up in probate. And so what we see on our end is a lot of people, like they have beneficiary designations on most of their investment accounts and life insurance and things like that, but they forget to handle the house. So the house ends up in probate. And then if, let's say, Medicaid paid 6 months worth of benefits, let's call it $60,000, now they're going to slap a $60,000 lien on that home to recover whatever Medicaid paid out in terms of benefits. And so this is where the ladybird deed comes into play, because the ladybird deed keeps the home in your name while you're alive, meaning it's exempt while you're alive, but then upon death, it avoids probate and thereby avoids that estate recovery. And this can be done if you had a loved one in a nursing home right now. So the question is, I did this 3 years ago, is there a 5-year look back period for Medicaid for a ladybird deed? And the answer is no, there's no look back period. As long as it's a primary residence valued at less than $500,000 adjusted for inflation, we can do a ladybird deed where it is exempt while you're alive for nursing home and Medicaid purposes, and then upon death avoids probate and avoids estate recovery. And really it just depends on what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish, whether we would do a ladybird deed or whether we would deed it to an asset protection trust. If you have more assets that you want to protect in addition to just the house, then typically we just set up an asset protection trust like a castle trust and deed the property to the trust. Also, it gives us more flexibility with a trust because we could sell the property. Let's say we were in assisted living and we didn't want to pay for the upkeep of a house, or we didn't really have a purpose for the house anymore. By doing it inside of the trust, the proceeds of the sale would remain protected, versus if you're to do a ladybird deed, now you've taken this exempt asset and turned it into a countable asset. So great question on ladybird deeds. Always happy to talk about them. They're one of the best planning tools we have. Super easy to set up, very straightforward. Like I said, we do a ton of those. So real estate, a lot of times it's very important to protect the family home. Hence, we'll either do a ladybird deed or we'll deed it to the asset protection trust. So hopefully that was helpful.